I think she's also coming at this a lot smarter than she used to, instead of just throwing up and just randomly choking him or slamming him against the wall every time he lies about it. She's just remaining calm and professional and still continuing her line of questioning, being firm.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 145 of Purple Hyacinth, Devil's Den. And today we are here with Joy.
Hello.
Awesome. Okay, so we started off where we finished last time, where Lauren got shot with a bullet. Ta-da! And we see that as she's knocking, this time she actually hears someone saying, "I only did my job, messenger. I did what you told me to." Then we hear the bang, there's the smash. We hear, "Get down." And Lauren and March are protecting themselves. I actually was worried about what would happen to March last time. Were you thinking he might get hit?
That wasn't part of, I didn't even think of that until I read the comments, and all the comments were like, oh no, March got shot, he was standing next to her. But I think this isn't done, they show this not exact, like when the bullet goes through, it's not shown quite the same as where it ended last episode. So I think that part was mostly for like dramatic effect.
Yes, exactly. March is safe. And Will comes up and he's drawn his pistol and he's like, "Are you okay?" And March and Lauren also have drawn their pistols. They nod. I'm still completely shocked that they don't have any protective gear when arresting a murderer. Like, they really could.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that became protocol like way afterwards, because I know a lot of the modern cop shows I've seen, they have all they're like their vests and it's a big deal. But considering this is like essentially set circa 1920s-ish, give or take, whatever, they probably wouldn't have a lot of the modern police procedures. It's like probably we see a few here because that's what we're all used to. So of course that's some of the stuff from the present kind of leaks into this, but since it's mostly somewhat inspired by a much older setting, probably they might not have a lot of those other protocols like the safety vest in place quite yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. True. And Lauren is, peering through the door. She kicks the door in and she sees a hooded person, the messenger, over Blair, and Blair is bleeding and he has the gun. I guess he's the one who shot. No, 1 second. No, Rafael's the one who has the gun and he's pointing it at Blair. And Lauren and March say, "ABD, drop your weapons." And the picture is like, I'm like, okay, this way, it's kind of going into the like an action film. We haven't had that sequence so often in PH, but it's cute.
I especially love that they have. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I especially love that they have this scene like with the police coming in on a potential crime scene, like it like happens at so many of the crime shows, and you would have thought, oh, this show has cops, like your main character is a cop, you have to see it at some point, but we pretty much have not seen them actually like going into some of these situations where you're trying to you haven't really seen them do a whole lot of arresting people for crimes and potential escalations and that sort of stuff. So this is actually kind of really cool to finally see.
Yeah. Yep, agree. And then the messenger turns and whoop, 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 he is not wearing his bird, and it is a Rafael. So, we were pretty sure, 99, 100% sure, but now we're like 200% sure that it's Rafael. They both look. who is it? Blair, I think, chins Rafael. And so he drops the gun. He knees him in the chin, sorry. And Lauren rushes in. She's like, hey. And Mark's also coming in. I think it looks like Rafael is throwing Blair away. And he tries reaching for his gun, but I guess it looks like Lauren shoots the gun away. Rafael's like, as he turns around, he sees Lauren with her smoking gun. So quick instincts, Lauren. We go, girl. we are appreciative of your, quick insight and sharp shooting skills.
It's too bad she can't pull one of those. You remember Clint Eastwood? There's a scene in one of his movies where it's like where he knows he can shoot the bad guy if he reaches for a gun. And he's like, "Go ahead, make my day."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Rafael just decides to scram, and Lauren says, "March and I will detain Blair. Go after the assailant, Lieutenant." He nods, which is like, how dramatically convenient that Lauren will not continue to pursue Rafael. Somehow Will do it, but okay. So Will runs after him, bangs up on the door. Rafael he has a bag in his hand. He's jumping on the desk to go out the window, and then their eyes meet. Oh no. Will totally recognizes him, and Rafael obviously hasn't recognized him, I think, before already. Yikes. Well, yeah. We have some splaining to do.
I know. It's like, I'm beginning to think this might be where Will might start digging a little more into like Rafael and what really happened that caused him to leave. Honestly. And I wonder how's it gonna bridge, because Lauren was going to tell him while they were investigating Green's dressing room at one point, and then they were so conveniently interrupted. But I'm wondering if that's going to have to get revisited at some point, where he's like, I saw my brother, he was like one of the messengers. But he was the messenger who almost killed Blair, but and because it's kind of interesting at this point, Will I think he's the last of the main four he's the only one who doesn't know the situation with the Snapdragon and everything. But I feel like it might impact him a lot more than even with Lauren, because it seems like his brother's fiance would have been killed there. And that
I think she disappeared before, if I remember correctly. Okay. Same year, but I think before. I think.
Yeah. I mean, it is awful convenient that she disappeared around the same time as the massacre at Orion's and Sons. So I don't know. I don't know if that's any indication of that. And obviously Rafael has come gung-ho into the Scythe. So it's like, was that something that they kind of did, like that's their date night, they put pamphlets to tell the people about how horrible their monarchy is?
Yeah, and their dad Stefan is obviously heavily involved in all of this as well, and for sure was an impetus for Rafael to make his decisions. So yeah, I'm personally just so excited that Will's finally getting some answers, because Lauren hasn't told him. She's been beating around the bush. I would say we haven't told him, we can't tell him, but we've known for a while, and we're like, oh, we want Will to know. So finally, so he's been meeting Rafael. He's like, what happened? He's been, the messenger has been dancing around the story. So finally it's coming together, and he knows. So I'm very excited to see Will's reaction. I'm curious if he's going to talk about it with Lauren, and Lauren will be like, yeah, I was trying to tell you. And he'll be like, what? You knew? How long did you know? Why didn't you tell me earlier? And I wonder if he'll be upset about her withholding information.
Yeah, I kind of feel like with Will, it could almost you really can't guess where he's going to go when he finds out how deep his family has been with the Scythe and Snapdragon and all the rest. Like, is that going to cause him to like maybe buckle down on helping Lauren, or he, like, I know early on, like, there have been some people who think that Will's going to be the one to betray Lauren. But I don't know, with the way his arc has been going, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I really hope not. He seems so good. I don't see him having that, like, you know, I don't know, the rage or the spite to do it. But I'm happy. I wonder if we'll see any reaction from Rafael. Obviously, we'll see from Will. I wonder how Rafael will react to his brother knowing who he is. Will he be forced? Will he admit it? Will he pretend it didn't happen? Will he be forced to take some protective measures, or, you know, something against Will? Like, I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he's quite that horrible, but you never know how low he can go.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Rafael has done some pretty awful things as a Scythe messenger. So there is also, like, and Will is still an officer of the law, despite how his personal sentiments about, like, the political situation they're in. He still has to uphold the law, and, like, whatever you lean politically, everyone can agree that running around and terrorizing people is not right. So he still needs to hold his brother accountable, really. Even, like, you can really sympathize with why he's doing it, but he's still doing wrong at the end of the day. So he still needs to be held accountable.
Yeah, I mean, it puts Will into a very sticky situation. Not that even, by the way, even if he would try to put Will behind, like, Rafael behind bars, it's not like he knows where he lives or anything, but, you know, but yes, I see the idea. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm happy that this drama is coming forth. So anyway, Rafael takes the sack that he's been holding and swooshes it. Seems to be full of a white powder. I don't know what. Obviously you could think it's something bad. It could be flour, it could be poison, we don't know, but it seems to be a distraction. I don't know why he's carrying it around with him, but okay.
He might have, yeah, I got the impression, since he didn't have it before, it may have been something that he just kind of, he either nabbed that was in the house, or it's like kind of a sack that he keeps on him, you know, like the bat shield, or like, what is it, bat smoke screen,
right?
Whatever it is.
Getaway sack of flour. But it's cute, it's pretty effect. And he jumps out the window while Will is enveloped in a cloud of white dust, and he coughs, goes to the window. He doesn't pursue him, which frankly, like, he just had a 5-second lead. He could have jumped out the window also, but whatever. Instead, he calls Lieutenant Hawks from the 11th precinct, request for ambulance, suspect injured, 67 Victoria Street, 13th district. So actually, my first thought was like, oh, why doesn't he run after him? But you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to run after him. Maybe he's like, actually, goodbye, Rafael. I'm letting you go. I'm not running after you. I don't know. I think we'll see a little bit more of his reasoning later.
And it could be, it's just more his, like, business personality, because, like I said, he's a cop first and foremost. So whatever his personal feelings are, those kind of do need to be shelved in order to, you know, do his job in a sense. And right now their job is to arrest this person that they found out is Green's murderer.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's technically right now Lauren and March's job, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe it was deliberate. I have to also point out the drawing in this episode. It's sharper than usual. It's like maybe fewer blurry lines. Coloring, I don't know, something about it is sharper. And it's nice. It's pleasant. Did you notice that? Especially when we come later to March and Herman.
Probably not. I guess I don't dig too deep into doing a whole art class with every panel, but you know, there are some times where I can be like, I think later on there's some Lauren scenes where it's like, yeah, that actually looks pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it just looked a little different. All right, so we have the chapter opening, and now we are in the hospital. We are in room 8. We have Herman and March standing outside, and Blair is saying, "For hell's sake, I was the one who was attacked. I'm the victim. What more do you want from me?" It's hilarious. It's really funny. And that's all true. And he's in the hospital bed. He's bandaged up on his forehead, and then he says in the lie, "I don't know why that man was there. I don't know who he is, and I've got nothing to do with the Phantom Scythe." All right, so that's the lie. And Lauren is investigating him while Herman and March have now moved into the room. And she says for the 10th time, "Stop lying. We heard you inside the house. You were talking about a job you accomplished for the messenger. That job was to kill Morgan Green, wasn't it?" And he protests as he lies. Sorry. And he says, "No, I have no idea who that is. You're completely insane. You have no right to do this to me." Lauren now is pacing around his bed very intimidatingly. She says, "Of course, you seem to have been quite a fan of Green. Actually, considering the picture on her camera roll you kept so preciously in a drawer alongside your gun." And she shows him the film. He's like, "You must be kidding." And he continues as a lie, "I'm genuinely confused out here. How does the film prove anything?" And Laura's like, "Allow me to spell it out for you." She's in her element. She has control. She is using her persuasive powers, or deductive powers. And she said, "Morgan Green was spying on you. She has been for quite some time on you and your associates. So she somehow figured out that you were phantoms. One night, she surprised one of your meetings at the dock. You were scheduled on a night shift then. I suppose you must have noticed Green, because gunshots were heard. She managed to escape with nothing but a bullet wound on her calf." And he's just quiet, looking resentful and sullen, because he's like, "Oh shit, my goose is cooked." And she continues, "But the Phantom Scythe doesn't like to be spied on. So you were sent to kill her off. Peculiar choice on their end to send unexperienced underlings after her instead of one of their formidable assassins." Oh, I think that's hilarious that she says that. I think because she's like, "Well, the formidable assassins with whom I have firsthand experience, namely Kieran and Bella." I just think it's hilarious that she says that. Like, it's not exactly relevant, but she's just like, "Well, Kieran is really awesome. I have to say, he's really good at his job."
Yeah, like the job itself is horrible, but he sure is good at it.
And then she says, "Unless perhaps they wanted that little incident to be kept under wraps. Some botched work on your part, right, Blair?" He turns away. He's like, "Nonsense." And that's a lie. And then he says, I want to speak to a lawyer." And then she says, "I still haven't quite figured out how you found Green so quickly, or why you went for Medusa's kiss to kill her." So I think this might be plot related. Like, I think we're going to find out later how he found her so quickly and what the Medusa's cut, like how he got that poison, or I think the fact that she's mentioning it means that it's going to be important.
Yeah, piece. Yeah, I think now that I think of it, it really is interesting. The piece, like the underling who's essentially like the errand boy, and he's been doing sloppy work since before, hence why he got caught by Green. Like, is like a sophisticated poison like that is quite a bit above his pay grade. Like, was that something that like the messenger or someone else had supplied him and given him specific instructions on using it? Because honestly, someone like that is like, you can just set up a sniper range, or quietly stab in a dark alley, or whatever. So that actually does seem very sophisticated, so much so that I think Lauren had at first suspected that maybe it was Bella, because Bella's the only one that she knew of that uses poison. But I get then there's also, where does Bella get her poison?
She grows it. There's a whole, just like Kieran has a purple hyacinth garden, she has a herb garden of poisonous plants. Keeps venomous snakes in her little travel trailer.
Yeah, I mean, they are connected with like people like Redcliffe who can afford to buy expensive poisons. So maybe he just buys a good shipment for whenever they need a job done.
Yeah. So, I love this guy's expression. He's like really like, oh no, I am done for. And she continues, poison by cutaneous absorption allowed to be miles away at onset of symptoms and death, but not very subtle. Also, not very difficult to figure that the forgetful janitor who should have been on break that night was in fact you. You snuck into the opera's house, must have found his uniforms and key, and proceeded to tamper Green's costume just before the show. And he gulps, admission of guilt if there ever was one. And now he starts tearing away at his fingernail. He's a nervous tick. And he's like, she says, you also made a little detour to her room, searching for evidence to destroy. I'll give you some points for searching somewhat carefully and not making a mess out of her room. But you still made some rookie mistakes. Remember, actually, I think the papers were messy. That was not common. She says, the damaged the camera from which you retrieved this film, shipped the chest you forced open. Too bad the actual evidence you were looking for was hidden just a few meters away, and led us straight to you. And the Dr. F. Everest is like, damn, girl. Really, really cute, because Lauren has just put together all these little details that she noticed, which we might not notice if, we weren't Lauren, and put together a very convincing case against him. And you see March and Herman looking on, and they totally got to glow up. They look, I don't know, especially Herman. They were smiling proudly, and even Herman, I don't know, can you call that a smile on his face, or is just less of a grimace?
I don't know. I think he's more the stoic type anyhow. Like, whatever his personal feelings, he don't show it. He's the perfect guy to play poker because you literally cannot read his thoughts.
Well, unless he's angry. He sure shows his anger, all right. But he looks good, I have to say. I know we like to hate on Herman, but he looks fantastic. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do think it's actually kind of interesting that he and Marge are kind of both stepping back and letting Lauren take the lead in this, because Lauren hasn't gone an official promotion. She's like allowed on special request, but she's still technically just an officer. This isn't technically like her field, but I don't know if Marge maybe spoke to him before, but even that he would agree to let her take the lead. I think, considering the fact, I think a lot of it, he is genuinely impressed with what she's done, because, I mean, after she flipped out on Sake, he hasn't been impressed with her at all, because, like, that's not professional. I'm gonna demote you. And, like, he's kind of, I think he's seen her as, yeah, you're the spoiled rich kid who probably bought your way into this position and doesn't think she has any actual ability, but now he's seen for himself the evidence that she does have the actual ability to climb the ranks.
Yeah, I think so. I personally think he's fair. I know once again I am sticking up for Herman against many haters, but I do think he's fair. So yeah, I'm curious if his treatment of her will change after this. And Blair continues, and he lies. He's like, listen, this is a fascinating story, but I swear you got the wrong guy. And she says, Blair, did you or did you not kill Morgan Green? He's like, no. Then tell me, why did your respiratory rate suddenly go up? Why are you sweating profusely despite the room being cold? She's leaning forward. She's got her finger pointed. She's so intimidating. Shifting around, your hands trembling, stuttering while previously so confident. You didn't even realize that you made yourself bleed with your little nervous tick. She like grabs his arm, his wrist. She's like, of course I'm nervous. Anyone would be. I am tied into a bed in a hospital after being shot with some crazy cops accusing me of murder. That's really funny. And then Lauren asks him, does the devils ring any bell to you? No, it's a lie. He's hilarious. He reminds me of like a toddler, like having a temper tantrum this whole time.
Yeah, I think it's almost hilarious how he's continuing lying, and literally everyone can tell. Marge and Herman can tell he's lying, and they don't have Lauren's ability. Like, it is so obvious.
Yeah.
But he is just somehow so dedicated to sticking to that. I'm just an innocent. I don't know what's going on, and I am definitely not involved with the Phantom Scythe.
Yep. And then she continues, as though he hasn't just denied it. What is it? A person? A code name? I said, I don't know. It's a lie. A location, perhaps? And then he's like, can't you get it through your thick skull? I don't know. That's a lie. He knows. And Dr. 𝗪𝗻𝗄𝗃 comes in. She's been watching a look for the past minute. And she says, if I may, we were treating a lot of miners here back when the mine was still open. Lots of accidents and deaths happened there due to explosives, collapses, and gas leakages. So much so that the workers there thought it was cursed. A myth, and then Herman continues, a myth formed that the devil was living under the mine. And those who dared mine too close to him and disturb him would inevitably be damned and die. And 𝗪𝗻𝗄𝗃 continues, it was nicknamed the Devil's Den. So, yes, so Lauren's like, aha. And now she thinks back to 𝗪𝗂𝗃 when she was investigating him, where he says that he used to work in his father's mine before he got his start in the trade business, right? That's how he got his explosive experience. And then she's like, oh, now I remember 𝗪𝗂𝗃 used to work in the mines. That's where I knew the name from. You probably even helped the Phantom Scythe settle in and navigate the mine since the beginning. So she just connected that. And she continues to Blair, who also suddenly looks randomly completely different. He says, the Phantom Scythe made their way back in there, right? And he's like, no, I told you. Once again, lying. She says, listen, Blair, there's no point in trying to hide your affiliation with the Phantom Scythe anymore. You were discovered. They will find out eventually. And the only way you can help yourself right now is by helping us get to them first, right? She's using, she's motivating him through threats of his life, because if he continues denying it and he gets out, they're going to get him. So she's like, well, may as well save your skin, buddy. And Herman says, if you're willing to cooperate, we will grant you protection. So he is, again, sweetening the deal. Blair is silent. Lauren goes, leans in towards over him on the bed, says, yes or no answers. Are you a Phantom Scythe member? And now he's finally coming clean, and he says, yes. It's awesome. And now she continues, is the Devil's one of the Phantom Scythe hideouts? No. Okay, so it is, because that's a lie. And then she says, is it where the weapons and explosives are stored? He continues, no, I don't know where they are. I'm not involved. That's a lie. She turns around. He's annoyed. She looks out, and Marge is looking at Herman, and Herman nods, and she smiles. She goes back to him, and she says, thank you for your answers. They have been most illuminating. If you don't mind, I have a few more to ask on what you don't know so well. It's really funny. But I think that little interchange between Marge, Herman, and Lauren, it's really sweet, because she's going to Marge kind of like, do I have permission to continue investigating? Do you trust me? Do you trust my, sense of where I'm going with this, my autonomy, my vision? And Marge turns to Herman, because I think he wants Herman to be the one that it comes from, Herman to, give her that official approval from his position as supervisor, the one who was against her, the one who opposed her. And he does. And Lauren has this beautiful, proud grin after, because she's just been incredibly validated. Where the supervisor, the one who doubted her, the one who thought she was volatile and off her rocker, he just said, yes, you're doing well, you can continue. I think it's really awesome. Just those three little panels, four, I guess.
I think that shows a lot of both, and some of like I said before, he's starting to get to know her and how she working on this thing. I think before with Sake, I'm not sure if he was there or not. I would have to reread, but he probably just heard of it through some second, third hand report that was turned in. So, but sometimes just hearing about something and seeing she does have good instincts, and she is really good at this detective work. So honestly, I really like that she's out there playing, and I think she's also coming at this a lot smarter than she used to, instead of just throwing up and just randomly choking him or slamming him against the wall every time he lies about it. She's just remaining calm and professional and still continuing her line of questioning, being firm. And she even verbally points out some of the things, because it's like, whether or not they believe if she says, "I hear you lying," they may not catch on all of it, but she kind of switches tactics also in a sense, not to, it's probably more for the person she's interrogating, but it also helps them see that she does see all those things that she could spot it, even if she didn't have her special liability, like all his little ticks.
Right. Yeah, I think that's an excellent point, that she's now doing it in a proper way, and she's changed and she's grown and she can control her emotions. Obviously, this case is maybe not so close to her heart as the ATSD and her parents and whatever, but still she's grown and she's able to be more restrained. I think that's a great point.
All right, so now the scene shifts to Kym's room, where Will and Lauren are visiting, and Kym says, "HS, you figured out where the weapons are? That's insane." And Lauren replies, "Or rather, extremely lucky. He was lying so desperately that he gave up everything away." And she's kind of stretching because she's a little tired out now from the interrogation. And so Kym asks, "What's going to happen now?" And Will replies, "Herman has alerted Lord 𝗬𝗁𝗀 and the National Security Agency. They're putting together an intervention team with the bomb squad and the army right at this moment."
So I actually have a question. You know how we've been thinking that March is the leader? So it's a little weird if March is the leader and he just was like, "Yeah, sure, let's continue this investigation, find out where the weapons are, do an investigation." So it's like, either we'll learn of something happening to thwart this, or March isn't the leader. I don't know. Or something, but it's a little incongruous with him being the leader for him to just be anti, this massive anti-PS move.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'm halfway certain if March is somehow, because I'm pretty certain he's somehow involved with the scythe in some way, even if he isn't the leader, he's gonna at least be like an apostle or something. But he's still someone high-ranking in the scythe, and he knows that they're going to like make this big raid. So
do you think he'll lead them to the wrong place? Maybe
they already know that. They already know that they're going to the Devil's Den. So, but so I don't know how vast that area really is, or if he's even going to be in it, because he's still just a detective thing. And they kind of put it. This is now considered national security, so I'm not sure how involved March would be. I'm not sure if he was there in the factory arc when all the police finally came.
March?
Yeah, March.
I don't remember March.
Yeah, I don't think he was, though. I'm not certain if he would have been high-ranking in the police department enough to be in on this. He may or may not, but at the very least, he may at least tip him off that this is going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, I would be happy if March wasn't the leader, because I like March, but I don't know. We'll see.
He could be too good to be true.
Right? Yeah, I'm interested. Will is like, I don't know, he's looking pretty stoic or pretty composed for someone who just found out his brother's the messenger. Well, I don't know if we'll see a breakdown later on.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's already established that he's the type who will generally hold himself
Right.
together with other people.
Yeah. True. I wonder if he'll do it with Kym. I'll be vulnerable with her.
That'd be so nice. We got 𝗏𝗀𝗃 being vulnerable with each other, and we got a little bit of Kiwi being vulnerable with each other, but now they got more they need to be vulnerable about, so.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. And so Lauren says, I doubt Herman really believes me considering how the information was acquired, but the stakes are too high to afford ignoring this lead. Better to get there and find nothing than give them time to move.
Huh, I thought the information was acquired legitimately. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. Like, so I'm not really certain. The only thing I could really think of was someone mentioned in the comments that they were somewhat concerned that she continued questioning after he asked for a lawyer. So I'm not certain if there was like some technical legal loopholes, but it's like I'm not. And with Herman being very much black and white by the rule book,
right.
But on the other hand, it's like she almost forgot that he did allow her to continue on with the questioning,
right,
and so forth. So he is starting to come around and put a bit more trust in her. So I think at some point she's probably gonna have to kind of return and say that he really is, because I mean, unless there's some major truths that I'm not certain, I'm pretty much convinced that Herman is one of those few people who are as you see them. Yeah. Like, and he is ultimately a good guy at heart, even though like their methods may clash, but they ultimately do want the same goal.
Yeah, I'm on that side as well.
So anyhow, so Kym asked Lauren, what will you do? And Lauren replies, nothing, at least not directly. Unless Tristan calls for my help on the side. He's leading the operation. So far, he's pretty much forbid me to go anywhere near the mines. It should be he's forbidden me. Oh well.
That's all.
And she says, I've already given them all the information that I have and will continue investigating on Blair's associates. And Kym goes, you can read that. 𝗏𝗏𝗋. And Will says, you've chosen a reasonable course of action.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. And it kind of is shocking to kind of see Lauren not jump on every clue and every chance to take down the Scythe.
Right. So I was also surprised too from a story perspective, because we're used to having all the action take place with our main characters being present. So I don't know if we're going to see it through the vantage point of, let's say, Tristan, right? Because he's going to be on site. If Lauren will actually end up being there, if, you know, some other people that we know will be there, or if it'll happen off the page. I don't think it'll happen off the page. I don't know how big of a deal they want to make this raid.
I don't know, especially if we suspect that March might try to do something to thwart it anyways. So
right, it might be a bust. I don't know. I'm excited. It's stuff is happening.
All right. So Lauren says, I wasn't really given a choice, but Tristan's right. It's not my place to go there. She sits down in a chair and sighs and says, we can only hope that they'll be fast enough and that the operation won't end in a tragedy.
Like another massive explosion.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be some sort of foreshadowing that she even brings that up, but it's just gonna, or the tragedy line is supposed to be a segue into the next section.
Well, there's also the thing, you know, Lauren it's actually parallel in the sense that Lauren is sitting in the chair, I think in a very similar position when she's in the cave. And what's her name? 𝗏𝗏 tells her that he's dead. So I wonder if that's supposed to be parallel to Tristan goes to this raid and then he comes back and something happens, right? And then Lear's like, well, he's dead. Because I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I mean, that the question that we have had for weeks and weeks and weeks, has that month gone by yet? Like, because how long has she been investigating the Green case?
I do not keep track, but I mean, the month has not gone by because that scene has not come up again. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're getting closer. That's all I can say. I think we're a couple weeks out, so a week maybe away from that.
Yeah, maybe. And I think we still haven't got anything really established that there would be a reason for Nera to approach Lauren at the cave, because so far Nera is just that girl that you kind of see around, at least from Lauren's perspective. That girl you've seen around, she started to suspect something about her when she was going over some of the facts, but beyond that, there hasn't been a whole lot to go off on. So I kind of feel like we need to establish a firmer connection before we can justify having now showing up and say, hey, he's dead.
Yeah, I agree. Like, why would she be in the cave? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like this theory that Tristan's gonna die in this raid. Yeah, I think it would make sense. Not that I want him to die, because he's so cute. I think he's the only completely good guy in this whole story.
Yeah, except he was like in that scene where she was at the tomb and it ends with she's talking to Dylan, and you have that little angel statue like in the graveyard, and that segues into the New Year's scene, and he is the first character, and he is directly mimicking that with like the goblet raised and like the plants behind him look like the wings. So hey.
We'll see, I guess. It could be everyone is tainted in the story.
So anyhow, now we switch to the hospital again. Well, the hallway of the hospital. And Lauren is at, it looks like a vending machine.
Yeah, I totally did not understand what it was before, by the way. I was like, I saw the package fall down. I was like, what is it? Mail shoot? Is it poison? I was like, I'm totally confused as to what that was. I did not notice it was like a vending machine.
I just now noticed it's a vending machine, honestly, because before I saw that little drop and I thought, oh, she's leaving a package or there's like a message or something, but no. We have been conspiracy theorists for too long. We see it in everything. But anyhow, yeah, she's kind of looking around as she is getting a snack from the vending machine, and she sees the guards, the APD, standing outside of room number 8.
Yeah, it's March and Herman.
And then the nurse, a dark-haired nurse, walks out of the room, and for some reason the nurse kind of catches Lauren's eye, like, you wouldn't, and Lauren keeps watching and it zooms in a little more. For some reason she's sticking out, even though she looks like your everyday nurse, but something's still in Lauren that's some off about her. She frowns.
I wonder if she recognizes her or if it's like something about her behavior is suspicious.
I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe it's one of those, have I seen her before?
Right.
Kind of things. But anyway, the nurse smirks, and next thing you know, there's the overhead going, attention, attention, code blue, block C, Charlie. Room 8, level 2. And Lauren thinks, wait, room 8, level 2? And as she looks at the sign number 8, the loudspeaker continues, attention, attention, code blue, block C, Charlie, room 8, level 2. And there's a big conundrum as all these nurses come filing out through the hallway. They're all rushing towards the door, towards the room, And Lauren looks around the conundrum.
Hmm.
She says F, and there's more nurses running. She shouts, "Hey," as she's trying to make her way through the stampede. And there's more nurses and more nurses, and they kind of all pass her. And so she kind of stops, and she's huffing and puffing. And suddenly the hallway seems very quiet.
Yeah,
very
I think
empty.
she was looking for that nurse. Do you think she was looking for that nurse?
That makes sense, actually.
I think like she very quickly realized.
Trying to find her or figure out where she went, because, and that's actually kind of a smart move to like dress up as a nurse and cause a situation that they would call all the nurses, because are you going to notice one out of all of those?
Exactly.
But at any rate, Lauren's lost her. The hallway's empty now. Then you hear tap, tap, tap. And it's on the, you see one lone nurse going down the stairs and heading towards towards an emergency exit. Well, I guess she's not going out, but she is kind of going in that direction. It's the one nurse that didn't respond to the call, by the way. She grins, and you look up and you see a close-up of her eye.
Yeah, and it's pink.
It's gotta be Bella. I think that's.
Well, you know, when I first saw that, I was like, "Is that Bella?" And then we get confirmation of that in the author's note, because they say, so it says, "I just realized Blair and Tim Stake have a lot in common. Both bald, both worked with something related to mines, both got interrogated by Lauren, and both got killed by Bella. Lesson learned: don't be bald in our house." So yeah, she confirmed it for us.
Yeah.
Bella, not only Bella is that Bella, but she just killed Blair.
Yeah, like I kind of second guessed it, because when I first saw the eye, I was like, wait a minute, what was Bella's eye color again? Because I wasn't certain if I looked that closely enough, and I don't think we've seen enough eye scenes of Bella to, but now we do. We have one Bella eye scene.
Yeah, that's a great panel too. I love the composition of the panel. Yeah. Bella, much more efficient than Blair ever was.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Blair. You won't be missed.
I know it. Also, I had the thought, like, after the "no, don't be bald in our Hollis," everyone's first thought has got to be, oh no, the handsome butler. He's next.
Really? I am the only one who like does not care about the butler. Like he can be dispatched. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's like I don't really have much emotional attachment to the butler either. Like, I don't think we've even seen Lady A and the butler. Well, Lady A we did see actually this season. But the butler hasn't been around. So I don't know.
Yeah, it would be funny if the butler and Lady A were like actually involved plot wise. But yeah. Well, Bella has done her job. I guess there's no more information that they're getting out of Blair. Oh well. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not certain if they could have gotten a whole lot anyways, but I don't know. He still has some information, but he is still like an underling. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll never know now. He will never be questioned again. At least not. Yeah, this was an exciting chapter. It had action, it had plot moving forward, and it had more action at the end.
More action and some character development for Lauren. Like, this is really, we haven't seen, like, it's really interesting to see her like be someone who would get so passionate about something that she leaps in feet first, and at times has acted very unprofessionally, and kind of going into stuff despite all these repeated warnings, and now she's kind of learned that she can take a step back, and it's actually more efficient to be able to get it done. It earns her credibility. I think also with her letting Tristan take the lead, it's like also her taking Kym's words to heart that she can trust people to do the job. She doesn't have to be the sole person taking down the scythe.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that development of like letting others take the lead, that's excellent. That's very true. Yeah, and we also got some progress forward with Will and Rafael, because now he knows that it's him, so he's gonna have to deal with that. So I think, yeah, this is a really good, solid episode that is, has merit on its own right, and is also a setup for future things.
Yeah.
So Kieran's Art Corner, what's your favorite panel?
Okay, you pretty much already have it up. It's that scene where Will and Rafael lock eyes as Rafael is escaping.
Yes.
That is like so picturesque. I love all the little eye motifs that's throughout the purple hyacinth, and Soph's eyes are so expressive, and when she zooms in on them, especially more so, because you can get so much expressed with just those one panel of the eye, two for this case, or does this count as one? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm actually going to use this as the cover art, even though it's not like a full picture. I also think it's like so pivotal to what happens in this episode, and yeah, it's a big moment. So yeah, my favorite panel is also eye related. It's Bella and her wonderful eye. It's just very pretty. The composition, the color, the eyelashes. It's nice. I just like how it looks. A close second is actually the one with March and Herman. I'm gonna scroll back. Not the ones where they're smiling, but the ones where they just look really good. It's like it's so refreshing. And I don't know what happened. Hold on, I'm still scrolling. But I don't know why Soph decided to change the way that they are drawn, but I am on board. I think they look really, really good.
Yes, they do. They do look good. If I had to choose a second favorite, I think it's probably the one where Lauren was like sitting in a chair and hoping the raid will go well.
Yeah.
I think that was also that one. I thought that looked particularly picturesque. I don't know, like you kind of get the kind of the pensiveness. I don't think they've seen pensive in a while, but and just the way her hair is starting to fall. Hold on. Not this one. A little further down. It's kind of a side profile.
Oh, okay. This one.
Yes, that one.
I'm going to go back to that cave picture because I am convinced that's even the same panel. Where is it? All the way at the beginning. It's the last episode that came of season 2 when it came out. My Webtoons app is not really working. Where is it? Is it here? I think so. Hold on. I'm scrolling. It's going to be all the way at the end. Yeah. Okay. Here. Here. I think it's pretty similar. She's leaning in a chair, leaning forward, right? I don't know.
Now I gotta find this one because I can barely see it on yours.
It's in 111.
111. I scrolled way past. 111. Now I've got to scroll. Oh my goodness. But never mind. I'll just take your word for it. I'm still gonna look, but yeah, like yeah. I think the one in the hospital one's easier to see because there's a lot more white.
Yeah.
Oh, I made significant films. Now they got the thing a month later. Okay. Yeah, I think I can kind of see that.
Well, we will see if this is a direct illusion or if it's just people sitting in a chair, adopting similar stances, because that's how humans sit.
I don't know. That is a good theory, though.
Well, I'll be very happy if this theory turns out, because I'm sure I've had other theories in the past that have not gone anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many he's that could die, but really, what kind of he's that would impact Lauren the most? Like, she doesn't know Radcliffe, and she knows he's an apostle, so she ain't sobbing buckets of tears if he goes.
Right.
I mean, I know when that one initially came out, everyone thought, oh, it's Kieran, but like in the comments, but it's like, that still seems a little too soon to offer main character. So
no way. I would I wouldn't literally die. I would figuratively die if Kieran died at this point, for sure. I mean, I'm sure I'll die if he dies later, even if it's the last scene, but whatever. If it's too early, I will combust.
Yeah.
All right. Any other final thoughts on the episode?
I also think it's really good. It's really nice to be seeing a lot of the cop work kind of come into this show, into this episode side. I'm thinking all those shows now, and you have those interrogation scenes and coming into arrest, and that was kind of fun, but also like seeing the character development and the big twist at the end. Although, if you really think about it, it's not that big a twist because their underling was incompetent, and guess who they called to get rid of incompetent people?
Right.
So
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I'm excited. I liked it. I like the episode. Very solid episode.
I think it really leaves it open because I'm not even sure if I can even guess what's going to happen with the next episode then, because it could start with a raid on Devil's Den that may or may not succeed or may partially succeed. It may start elsewhere, like with Lauren and Kieran picking up chasing down the apostle. It could pick up again with Lauren chasing down Green's associates to figure out what are they doing,
right?
Exactly.
Rafael and Will could be something.
Yeah, that too.
Dana, anywhere. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if you have a guess, you can write in the comments below where we're going to do next week, and we'll see who gets it right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joy. Thanks so much. This was really great. And thanks for doing the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I enjoyed doing this.
Yeah, it's good theories, good comments. Great as always. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe Rochelle, Saucy Tuggles, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Esther, and Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Christine, Sadie, Teresa, Mrs. Gastaldo, and Emma Cora. Your support is truly appreciated.